Kurt Russell as Santa? Oh, this is an opportunity too good to miss.
It's Christmas time, pretty baby, and the snow is falling on the ground.
Hello, my fellow YouTubers and subscribers everywhere, and welcome to my review of a Christmas movie. It's now in December, and you know what this means. It's time to review some more Christmas films. Woohoo! Apologies for the delay. There has been a severe lack of content recently, but it's mainly because I've been doing loads of uni work. Yes, a lot of you know I'm on a film course and doing a bachelor's arts degree in film, and obviously it takes up a lot of my time. As well, I have been doing amateur dramatics. I've been performing, and I also have a job, so my time is very limited at the moment. Nevertheless, I've decided to review a Christmas film which I have never seen before, not until today, and the film is The Christmas Chronicles. Now, this film is actually a Netflix original film. It was released in 2018, I believe, directed by Katy, and it stars Kurt Russell as Santa Claus. So the plot of this film is as follows. The story of a sister and brother, Kate and Teddy Pierce, whose Christmas Eve plan to catch Santa Claus on camera turns into an unexpected journey that most kids can only dream about. Essentially adding to that, basically Kate and Teddy have to help Santa fix his sleigh, find his reindeer, recover the presents, and deliver the presents to all the children before time runs out, whilst also overcoming the grief of their father's death and learning to become better siblings and reconnect with each other. It's very simple, it's very, I guess you could say cliche in a way, it's by the numbers, it's what you would expect. But I have to be perfectly honest, I really enjoyed this film. Yeah, I mean, it's not a perfect film, it's no masterpiece by any stretch, but it doesn't have to be. You know, it's a fun, innocent romp that tells a decent story. It's a fun family film. I think anybody of any age can watch this and can relate to it. The theme's about, you know, family at Christmas and grief and, you know, overcoming all that stuff. That's very relevant, and I like the idea of the fact that they always recorded their Christmases on video. There came a time when the father died, and we don't actually know how he died. We just know that he died. And it's very sweet how Kate, the little girl, is desperately trying to reach out to her brother, Teddy, who's going into a bit of a criminal life, really. You know, he's kind of being led down a downtrodden path because he misses his dad. He doesn't know what else to do. He's still grieving, and he hasn't got over it. And he's just causing trouble because he's depressed. You know, he can't find a way to overcome his grief, and people do act out and do terrible things when they're going through that. And obviously, like losing a loved one, that takes, you know, months or years to even get over. It's difficult. I mean, I should know. I mean, anybody knows. So I like the journeys of both the characters and how Teddy has to learn to go back on the straight and narrow path and, you know, accept the loss of his father, and also not shut out his sister. And I have to admit, the acting in this film is really good. I mean, considering it's a Netflix-funded film, it was not theatrically released, they've actually got some really good actors in this film who are of very good ability. The kids in this film are great. They have a really good chemistry on screen. They really make the film. They're very charming. Darby, who plays Kate, she's really sweet. You know, I like her very much. At first, you know, we think, okay, she is quite, you know, typical innocent child, you know, and very much believes in Santa and all this kind of Christmas malarkey. She hasn't quite grown up yet. She hasn't quite come of age. And I think that's her story, is learning to understand her brother's dilemma, and to understand and then empathize with him, because she's lost her dad too. And she doesn't want to fight with her brother. She just wants to reconnect with him. And I like the fact as well that she allows her brother to kind of be more childlike and to still keep an element of their father alive, because obviously Christmas was very important to their father. So I like the fact that the theme of Christmas really kind of reflected the whole grief aspect, and the theme of Christmas tied in very well to the emotional beats of the characters, which I thought was impressive. Judah Lewis as Teddy, he's very good. I like how over the film he slowly becomes more interested in what's going on. He's very distant in the beginning. You think he's becoming a bit of a criminal, and his sister threatens to expose him to the mum, and then they have a big fight, and then they're forced to go on this journey together. And in the end, obviously, well, you'll see how the relationship develops. But Teddy is a good character. He's a teenager as well, so there's a bit of a age gap between him and his sister. His sister's about 10, and he's about 16, 17, something like that. But I liked their dynamic, and I thought they worked as siblings. They didn't always fight, but they didn't always get on either. There was a good balance, and I think that was what was important. And then when it came to it, they worked very well together as a team. Kurt Russell, though, I mean, man, he probably steals the show as Santa. He is one hell of a Santa. There's some really funny scenes with him in this film, particularly when he goes into a bar and he's asking for help, and everybody thinks he's this maniac, this weirdo who just is completely deranged. And same with all the stuff in the prison, in the prison cell, where he's struggling to convince the officers that he is the real Santa, and they think he's a loony, so they lock him up. And also, of course, because they get involved in a high-speed car chase, as well. So that's part of the reason. But then there's this great moment where he tries to bring the Christmas spirit back, and he gets all the prisoners singing and dancing, and he's dancing around. I mean, he's just got such a lovely energy about him, and I think that's really potent when you watch this film. I mean, he's not your typical ho ho ho. He's not overly jolly. He's actually kind of like a, how can I put it? He's a bit more dashing, shall we say? He's a bit more of a dashing Santa. He's a bit more good looking. He's a bit more of a flyboy, shall we say? He's a bit more of a scoundrel. But I like that. It was a different take on Santa. We're so used to seeing the kind of overly jolly, big Santa Claus who likes to eat cookies and milk. But no, this guy had a lot of personality, and I like the fact that he still very much cared about Christmas and all of the presents and everything, and, his job. He very much cared about that. But at the same time, he was a bit of a loose cannon. He was a bit of a, an adrenaline freak. He liked living on the edge. He liked being on an adventure. So I liked the adventurous spirit of his character very, very much. If there's anything that works against the movie, it perhaps is the pacing. There are times when it does drag quite a bit. I think some of the prison scenes go on a bit too long. They don't need to be as long as they are. And also the elves. I don't like the elves in this film. They're just weird. They're just really weird. For one thing, they talk in Spanish for no apparent reason. I thought at first they were just talking their own gibberish language for quite some time. Which, fine, fair enough, it makes sense. But then at the end, it's referenced that they were speaking Spanish, when Santa says, well, hopefully they'll help you improve your Spanish grade now. Because at the beginning of the film, Kate records a video message for Santa, where she's like, I've not been doing too well in school, I've got a D- in Spanish. I was like, okay, nice connection, but what was the point? It was just a bit random. Okay, weird, but fine. I did like the design of the North Pole stuff. When Kate went inside the Santa's bag, and it was almost kind of like the TARDIS from Doctor Who. Bigger on the inside, and she was treated to like the workshop, and she saw the elves. Then she explains they need help, and also the way the elves look. I just find that they look very similar to the trolls from DreamWorks Trolls. So that kind of puts me off a bit. I think the design is a bit weird. I mean, I get it. They're going for the cute factor and everything. They're trying to appeal to a family audience, which is fine. But I don't know. I just thought the elves, it would have been better to have the elves speak English and actually do a bit more than just kind of fight. They don't really do that much in the film. So it would have been nice if they either were cut or perhaps did a bit more. But, it's only a minor nitpick. And while some of the effects are quite good, like when Santa is hopping from one rooftop to the next, there are other effects which are quite obvious. I understand it's a Netflix film, so they probably don't have the same budget as a Hollywood blockbuster, but some of the visual effects are noticeable. It's quite an effects-heavy film, so there are times when you just think, okay, yeah, for the year that it came out, it's not entirely convincing. But, that's only a minor gripe, because ultimately this is a very heartwarming film. It's a really enjoyable film, and I like the sentiment in the film as well, that it's not just an overly jolly Christmas film. There is a sadness to it as well. There's a whole family, there's a whole broken family aspect, with the father not being there, and it's about the family reconnecting, which I think is very important and it's very relevant, and it works for this film. Simple but very well executed, but sometimes less is more. So that being said, I'm going to give the Christmas Chronicles a solid 8 out of 10.
Falling on the ground. It's Christmas time, pretty baby.
I think it's a great fun movie. I'd recommend it for any families. It's a film for kids and for adults. It's fun. It's fun. And I believe there is a sequel as well, so I will review the second film if I can watch it soon. So anyway, thank you very much all for watching this review. Please hit the like and subscribe button for more content. What did you think of this film? Please comment down below. Let me know, and stay tuned when I review the sequel, The Christmas Chronicles 2. So until then, I'm Pajak's Perspective. See ya. Bye for now.